In this video it's going to be sort of a bit of a time travel. I started to do these calipers for a Range Rover, for the Red Range Rover project in August, at the beginning of August. So the video that you're about to see, I'm in a t-shirt covered in cat hairs, but it took me a long time to find these little bushes here. I did a shout out and I was very pleased that Ian and Greg sent me some across. Now Greg had some because he split some calipers and took them out, so these are ones that he took out of the caliper, and Ian was kind enough to send a kit that was on eBay with them in. So this is for one caliper kit, and I'll do a little bit later, but I'm eternally grateful. But I'm not going to sell these or do anything with them. In fact, what I'll probably do is get Ludi to come down, because his brakes have been knackered, and I'm going to give them to Ludi, and then we can do a video of Ludi trying to make a mess of his brakes. Alright, so that's the story. That's why it gets a bit mixed up. So at the end I'll come back and we'll put these seals in and we'll assemble the calipers. Yesterday I had a part shipment for brake caliper pistons. They were a bit nasty, so I thought I'd change the pistons. We're putting genuine seals in, genuine pistons, and also a genuine seal kit. I don't usually take calipers apart and mess about with them and change them, because they're that cheap new. Well, it's not worth it. But in this instance, these calipers here are kind of a bit special, because they must have been having a special on bleed screws, because these are off the early ABS model. So it's got a bleed screw here, here and here, and all the pistons don't interact with each other. It's like if there's a brake line gone or something like this, these two will work, but this won't, if you see what I mean. It's like a safety thing. But they did away with it on later cars. So instead of replumbing all the car and doing this, that and the other, I thought we'll play safe and we'll rebuild these calipers, because they weren't actually all that bad. They are genuine Lockheed ones. And I give them a little blast and a little bit of a paint up outside. And now I've just, let's say a better one here, this one here. I've just given the insides a soda blast inside, just to see, you know, take any light corrosion off. But I thought I'd just show you a couple of things. Firstly, how to put the pistons in, and secondly, what to observe, because I noticed something really strange with these when I took them off. Well, not sort of strange, but unusual. If you've got a caliper and it's got a groove in here, well, it's time to throw them out, because the pads will just chatter and they'll get worse and worse and worse. These are like new, you know, they're really good. But one of the things I did notice when I took this apart, like I say, you're not supposed to take them apart, but they have these little spacers in here, you know, like for transferring fluid from one side of the caliper to the other. And it's like a little bush. But look at that very carefully. I'll try and hold it as best I can. Can you see the rubber's disintegrating? Do you see that? Hope you can. And this is the cause of when you've got water in your brake fluid. Look, you see how it's rusting out? So they've got to be changed. And here's the problem. When you take that little rubber bush out, that's what it is. And there's the inside like a little sleeve, a supporting sleeve. Alright, not too bad, but I can't put that back in, because look at that. And you can't buy these. This is where I'm getting to. You see how the rubber's sort of deteriorating around there? See, look, there's a big chunk out of there. This is really one of the reasons why the calipers leak. So I thought to myself, oh, before I started, I'll just put some new seals in. Now these are the seals. These two little chaps here. And because it's the same caliper for a Defender with solid discs or vented discs, all they do is just put another spacer in the middle on Defenders. But on the Range Rover it was a little bit different. So I went to get an old caliper to see what the seals were like. And look, this is the typical example of the come to me. Those pistons aren't going to come out of there. But this was out of a 300 TDI, and they had the same sort of idea as the Range Rover with these bushing things in here. You see, there's another one, you see. So I don't know, when I look at the parts diagram, what goes in the middle of these, if you see what I mean, what the tube is, because they'll fit in the same diameter as that, but without any support they'll just collapse. Now, are you supposed to put 3 in? I don't know. Let's have a look. Do you put 3 seals in one side and then the tube in the middle? But even if you put 3 in, you see, they're not standing proud, they're flush. That's not good, because good description there. They should stand proud. You see what I mean? This is a good bush. You see, that's how it should be. There's no cuts on it at all. No, there's no cuts on that, and it's a good bush. But you see when it's flush at the back and it's standing proud. Well, I'll show you where it fits. See, the calipers are machined differently, because, like I say, on a standard solid disc they go like this, and then they put the spacer in like that for a vented discs. Easy, eh? But you see, this one's got a recess in. Totally not prepared. This one's got a recess in to take that regular seal, when I can get it in. I'm rushing a bit now. There we go. Go in. Go in. Wait a minute. Might have to edit this bit out. It won't go in when I'm looking at the camera. Ah, there we go. There she's in now. A bit fiddly. So there's the seal. And you can see, by looking at it like that, it's not standing proud too much, but it's enough to compress against this side of the caliper. See, there's a gap. So when that caliper's nipped up, that seal should nip up tight. Should. So, should you really take these apart? I don't know. Because you see, the thing is, if we didn't take them apart, we wouldn't have seen things like this. You see, the seal's gone completely. There's just the rubber tube sticking out the top, the steel tube. And you can see it's flush on that side. This is exactly how I took them out. That's going to leak like crazy. You know, it's going to pour out. But like I say, this is another one that's just come out. And that's in pretty good condition, that seal. So I'm going to have a look to see if I can buy them. If not, these calipers are scrap. Oh well, I might as well resurrect something out of this video. Yeah. Let's use my tool to put some seals in, some pistons in. Back in a minute. You can always tell a good quality seal kit because they have the colour codes on the outside of the seals. Lesser, cheaper seals that you get from China, they don't even bother with things like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of rubber grease in the inside of here, all the way around, especially in the groove with Madonna there. She'll be getting in the groove very shortly. And we're going to fit the seals in. Now they are a bit tricky to fit the seals in, so there's a grease in there. I'm working up a bad height. Let's pull this down a bit. How's that? That's better. They are tricky to get in because you can easily put them crossed. There you go. There's that one in. Here's another. Just put a bit more grease around there. Inside that groove. It's really just to stop rust getting in, that's the thing. We'll put the seal in. There you go, see how it just pops in? So that was the easy bit. The tricky bit, I always find, is these wiper seals. So I put a little bit of grease inside the groove first, just to give them a fighting chance. You know, because they'll get water and all sorts of stuff thrown up in there. And all this is like a dust seal or something like that. The tricky bit is getting it into the ring. And especially when you've got oil, grease on your fingers. See how easy it was? practice. The new piston. You can see how smaller they are than Defenders and later Range Rovers. They were really small. So now I'm going to put the seal on the right way around, so the metal goes to the top, like so. You can see now when you push it down how it wipes off that excess grease. We'll take it to the caliper, and this is where we shall use our magic tool. But first of all, the top on the grease, and then ever so gently ease that in. Rock and roll it around, but don't put it in right down to the bottom, and this is the trick with this tool. Now I've Albert in Holland, I think he is, we've come up with the design, well we've come up with the design, I came up with this design earlier, but we've come up with a paper design, and I might be tempted, if there's a lot of feedback, to put the design in my shop, because I was thinking about making these because they're really good, but they're heavy and I have to have a big run of them to make them. So why not have the plans and you can make them yourself? Good idea, eh, Mike? So what we need is, it's got a groove in here. We get the new piston, oh that's the old piston, so we get the new piston, which is in there, and it sits, so there's your groove, and it sits like that. Now this is a two-stage tool, this one. You get your old piston, put it in the end, find your hammer. That's the thing to find. Where the hell can I put my hammer? Oh, here it is. And then strike it nice and square. Take the tool out, take the piston out and reverse it. See? So the groove's this way, and now with this flat edge you can set the seal. Push the piston in. And there you go. That should go a bit more flush really, but I'm weak today. So let me do another one, I'll show you how easy it is.